Good lights are getting cheap, and cheap lights are getting good. Thanks, Marquez. That's a fantastic saying in the world of mobile phones. I think it holds true in the world of continuous LED lights too. Today, we're talking about the Neewer CB60, which is yet another LED light that's been released, but this one might take the crown of the most affordable one. Let's get into it. Whilst we're unboxing this, there is nothing really incredible about the experience, but keep one thing in mind. This light cost £120. That's right. If you click the link down below and go to Amazon, you will have this light in your hand within 24 hours. Now that is fantastic. As you can see, there's not much else going on in this box. It's a pretty standard cardboard box. There's the light itself, the power plug, and most importantly, there's a remote control. Yes, a remote control which needs 2 AAA batteries. Yeah, I don't need that. That's the unboxing out the way. It's pretty straightforward, nothing in there. There's the light. It's the same light I'm using right now to film this video. So maybe you can tell me that it looks good, it doesn't. How does the mustache look? You know, you tell me how the light is performing right now. But there are 4 things people really care about when they're buying an LED light. And the short form of it is QANC, QANC, quality, accessories, noise, and the cost. So let's tackle them one by one. Let's talk about quality. That's the #1 thing that people care about. Doesn't matter if this light was £1. If the quality, you're not going to use it. So how does this perform? Well, first of all, this is 5600 Kelvin fixed. It isn't one of those ranges where you can change it from 3000 to 6000. Sure, they have other options available where you can do that, but this most cheapest version at £120 does not have that. It's fixed at daylight, 5600 Kelvin, and it is pretty bright. It's 9000 lux in terms of luminance at 1 meter. I don't recommend anyone stand at a meter and turn it to 100%. You're going to blind yourself. Don't do it. And then there's the actual quality of the light. It's 97% CRI, and basically that means it's as close to pure as you're going to get. 3% off. I mean, give it a chance. So it's pretty good in terms of quality. #2 is accessories in my QANC. Can this light hold my umbrella, my light dome? Can it go onto my light stand? The typical things you'd expect the light to be able to do. It's yes, yes, and yes, of course. You could mount an umbrella. This has a bones mount, which means I have my Aperture Light Dome Mini or my Maxi. Both of those fit on there perfectly fine. And yes, it does also fit onto my light stand pretty well. So yes, in terms of accessories, this is as good as you get. It's pretty much all there, ready for you to plug and play with your existing setup, or if you're buying something new, you can get something for pretty cheap as well. Third, and the most important thing, is noise. I've made a video about a Godox SL60, which was basically a siren, and you probably wouldn't be able to film with it. Here's a link to it. It's been slated by critics, mainly because I look like in that video, so I understand. But that light had one major flaw, which meant that I could get 100,000 views on a video, which was noise. Fantastic for me, but not for my users because, well, they couldn't hear me. It's like someone went onto the microphone and started blowing air. Just was blowing air. That's how loud it was. Exaggerating. But if we come back to the Neewer CB60, this is pretty quiet. One of the good things they've done with this is they could have made this, in terms of its size, a little bit more compact. But they've been clever. They've actually made it slightly bigger than I'd expect it to be. There's a lot of free air in there and room for at least a heatsink to breathe, which means that the fan doesn't actually have to blow as hard as you would if the package was much smaller. So that's a good thing. It's pretty quiet. The only thing you can hear, at least in my room here, is the noise from the road rather than the noise from the fan. So that's fantastic. Not a lot of noise. That's a good sign. And the final thing in my QANC is the cost. I've already mentioned this before, but this light costs £120. It is a fantastic price. It's probably what I paid for the Godox SL60 a couple of years back. and that light was junk. This isn't. This is fantastic. All of the things I've mentioned already, they all work pretty well, and at £120, it's probably worth taking a punt if you're one of those people. But if you're new to the market, you're trying to film your first YouTube video, or you've got a massive studio and you need 5 of these, well, this will do a reasonable trick for you. You must be thinking, wow, this must be a fantastic light. Let me go and buy one right now. Well, hold up. Yes, all of the things I said are true, but I have a few things I don't really like about this light. Let's get into them now. First up is the size. Now, okay, hold on. I know I said that the size is fantastic. It dissipates the heat and noise pretty well. That is true, but if you look at the competition, the size of this light is very big. The Amaran 60D is half the size of this and has the same noise and heat dissipation. So they could have probably made it smaller, but if you're thinking of getting one for travel-friendly reasons, this isn't the one. But if it's going to stay in your studio, yeah, size doesn't matter. Following on from that, again, I'll take the example of the Amaran 60D. The packaging that it comes in is fantastic. It's travel-friendly, it's small, it comes in a box which I can just close. It's like a briefcase. I can store it easily, and it's fantastic. You saw in the unboxing experience that this just comes in some polystyrene. You take it out. Once you've got it out, there's not really anywhere to store it. You have to figure out where you want to store it. Now, if you're newer, you're probably like, hey, we could have probably charged you 20, 30 pounds more and given you a nicer case for this. And at that point, you're getting closer to the range of an Amaran 60D, which costs 180 pounds. So you're like, well, we're giving you good value for the product that's there. So I can understand that, but it's just something they could have probably thought about. And the final thing they really should have done with this product to make it an absolute smash out the park is make it a Neewer Infinity product. What does that mean? Well, it means that it connects to my phone and I can control this light with my phone, much like I can control that RGB one from Neewer. It would have been great to have this on my phone so that I can turn it on, turn it off, change the brightness, whatever it is, I would have been able to do on my phone, and it would have been fantastic. It's a shame that I can't do it. Please make that an update in the next version of this light. Great. I've told you all the good things, all the bad things. Where do I stand on this light? Well, I go back to the statement I made earlier, thanks to Marquez. Good lights are getting cheap, and cheap lights are getting good. This is probably the cheapest you can get with the best quality for the price. The quality to price ratio is fantastic on this light. And for £120, I don't think you're going to get any better. Sure, it's a little bit big. Sure, you can't connect it to an app, but the quality of the light, the brightness of the light, the connectivity of the light in terms of what you can connect in terms of accessories on this light is fantastic. So all in all, this is probably the most affordable LED light of 2023. I'll see you in the next one.